me move like molasses. Gotta use your third eye just to see the trespassers. You don't need no glasses.
I've come to terms with the fact that my future might not involve people I'm around now. I get tired of doing this every time I try something new. Sometimes I had to walk away from what I want to find what I deserve. I made mistakes in my life. I've learned from my bad choices. I'll know better next time. Don't mention a person's past mistakes when they're trying to change. That's like throwing rocks at them while they're struggling to climb a mountain. Yeah, let's talk about that, y'all. Xtreme Songwriter, y'all. When to take a minimalist versus an extreme approach in songwriting. And we're going to be talking about avoiding extreme and minimalist traps in songwriting. We're going to talk about that and more right here on the Boss Ladies Live radio show. Let's go, y'all. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another Boss Ladies Live radio show. 4-time award-winning now. Spreaker Studios, sponsored by Boss Ladies Inc. and Dre's Radio Cafe and Vero G Spotlight Radio and Wisconsin Cannabis Users Matter Inc. Welcome back to another show. Oh, and Larry D. Edwards, which will be in the building, specifically April 24th. At 9 p.m. Central, and we're going to be discussing the Derek Jackson scandal, which is Girl Go Away in reverse, y'all. You don't want to miss that. It's kind of a spinoff of the Girl Go Away, I'll say right now, part 1. So make sure y'all tune in for that. You know, particularly tonight, I do want to thank everybody for liking, downloading, and sharing the show. Live in the chat room, we got TOHP in the building. We got Drazy in the building. We got Eric Blowtorch and the Bodyguards in the building. And thanks to everybody else that's listening that can't get in the chat room right now. Tune into the replay after 10 or so 30 p.m. Now I'll talk about Central Time. And it's replay after that 24/7. So you can tune in at any time, get back in the chat room and chat with your listeners if you weren't able to do so on tonight. Particularly tonight, I do appreciate everybody that's been supporting thus far. We didn't expect to shut down the 420 contest only because we were trying to come out in person and gather, and we couldn't do that. So we had to cancel the April 17th event. which went pretty well on Spreaker. The show, the interview with Stephanie Spicer, was one of the top shows 2 weeks ago. So shout out to you, a round of applause to you for making the effort. The word did get out, so congratulations on that. You know what I'm talking about? I'm truly honored to be asked to host a 420 contest. Every year I seem to forget about 420. So happy 420 for all the 420 celebrators. So it was very, very interesting and very fun to put together and also host at the same time. So I do appreciate the opportunity as well. It wasn't easy to do. It was a lot of getting together, but I'm glad the word is out because next year we will be doing this again. So don't fret. It is just, this year was about getting the word out, letting you know that it was not a get high party. It was basically a fundraiser for legalizing cannabis on a federal level and taking off the schedule of the same as other hardcore substances like cocaine, heroin, those type of things. So that's what we were raising money for. And we also wanted to add a little fun by adding some talent to the show by actually having people from our state, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, come out, and other people all over the place and all over the world, because we do support local underground artists worldwide, to come out and show their stuff and win that $420 cash prize, which will be also put up for next year. So we putting it back in the pot, and hopefully we'll have more contestants, and somebody needs to win it. And don't forget the lyrics, y'all. That's why we also had to stop the drawing, because of the lack of lyrics that were on songs, which they were great. They sounded good. Don't take offense, but we do need your lyrics of experience with cannabis only. Okay. So without further ado, we're going to get some EDU in our lives, which will be when to take a minimalist versus an extreme approach in songwriting. So on that note, let's get some EDU in our lives, y'all. When to take a minimalist versus an extreme approach in songwriting. And we're going to find that at blog.reverbnation.com/2021/003/versus-n-extreme-songwriting. Songwriting is a creative pursuit where it's easy to get tricked into thinking that more is better, more production, more vocals, more complexity, etc. And on the other end of the spectrum, it's also tempting to leave ideas undeveloped and lacking direction by trying to keep things simple and straightforward. Before DAWs became an integral songwriting tool, deciding how much or how little to add to a song wasn't nearly as challenging. Much of the time, those choices were made for songwriters depending on the size of an artist's band and their budget. But now that anyone making music has a virtually endless array of digital instrumental and production possibilities at their fingertips at any given moment, the minimalist versus extreme dilemma is something many of us have to grapple with as modern music makers. How do we know when we're getting it wrong? The truth is that there's no easy answer here, because every songwriter works in different ways and makes different works. However, there are some universal ideas we can look to avoid underdeveloping our music or making it too busy. Avoiding extreme and minimalist traps in songwriting. There are a lot of pitfalls when it comes to overly relying on extremes in songwriting, whether it's covering up a mediocre idea with lots of production assets or drowning out a great one with superfluous instrumentation, distracting dynamics, or intense tempos. There absolutely are places where extremes are useful in music, especially for certain genres. But if you're in the habit of turning to them when you don't know what to do with your music for each and every one of your songs, the pronounced emotional experience we're trying to convey might just translate as distracting noise. The minimalist approach can be just as bad. Keeping ideas too sparse or not adding more instrumentation and production when it's needed can leave a song sounding far from its true potential. As songwriters, we undercook ideas because we're eager to finish songs or because we aren't willing to give them the resources they need to develop and flourish. But whether we're faced with overloading ideas or underdeveloping them, the answer to avoiding both traps is the same. By approaching your music with patience and discernment, you'll be able to bring your songs to their full potential. Patience gives you time and space to let ideas develop naturally on their own. As opposed to finishing songs as quickly as possible or piling on instruments and production and hoping for the best, being patient will allow you to consider other options and explore different creative directions. Discernment is key for deciding whether an idea needs a minimalist approach or lots of production and instrumentation, or most likely something in between. By giving yourself time to fully flesh out ideas and asking honestly whether what you're making is strong and compelling, you can avoid doing too much or too little with your songs. One of the best things you can do for your music is to explore ideas freely and in an unrushed way. Forget about minimalism or extremes for a minute and purely focus on following an idea where it naturally goes. If you can do this, knowing how to further develop ideas through instrumentation and production gets a lot easier. Visit the marketplace and get exclusive access and discounts to the best musician products and services in the world with your Reverb Nation membership. If you're generally excited about the direction of an idea, you probably don't have to alter it much with extra instrumentation and production, but it's also worth trying out different musical directions and approaches with your music to see what fits the best. It all depends on your unique process, but remember that just because you record something a certain way doesn't mean you're stuck with it forever. Working with extremes on one specific approach might show you that that's the wrong direction or that it was exactly what your idea needed, but you won't know until you try. The good news is that it's easy on your DAW to mute tracks and deactivate effects until you get to the bare bones of your idea. So it's always easy to get back to minimalist direction. The key is to try things, be willing to fail, and hang in there long enough until your idea is exactly where you want it to be. Patrick McGuire is a writer, musician, and human man. He lives nowhere in particular, creates music under the name Straight White Teeth, and has a great affinity for dogs and putting his hands in his pockets. And you know what time it is. That's our EDU for our live show. Up next, we got the ladies for the second half. We starting with that Vero G drop, and then our song Car Far Away. We got some Miss Fabulous coming up and some new female MCs in the building, brought to you by MJ Savino. Let's go, y'all. Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere.
Hi, my name is Vero G. I am a self-published author, poet, TV and radio personality, and host. I am, as you can, a plus-size model, a screenwriter, and the list goes on. Definitely, I'm honored to be a part of this, and I'm all the way from the Lower East Side. That's in Manhattan. And what I would like to promote recently at my releases is the Victory album, which is out now, guys. You can get it at all digital platforms. Also, check out my Vero G Spotlight magazine publications at www.magcloud.com. And also, just check out all my music and all that sorts. I appreciate that, guys, if you can do so. And just check me out on my IG at Diva and Diamonds, DIVADIAMONDS. Also, you can find me on my Facebook artist page, Vero G. Thank you so much.
Every time I close my eyes, I see only you with no disguise. Reminisced